This is, I think, number 5. Number 4, number 5. We just did a podcast on Kapua. Bare Necessities. You better go. I'll be pissed if you don't be checking that out.
Heated. It's out, y'all. It's
Oh,
it's
man.
yours.
Yeah. So, we come here today to talk about Flowography, a business that I have been owning and been the CEO of for almost, I think it's been like 9 years. I've been doing Flowography, just been doing private lessons, entertainment. And yeah, Kapua has been on quite a few lessons with me. Shoo!
Yeah, I got to experience firsthand. This is a special one. This is a special one. This is Kev's forte. This is his yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I get to just be me for a living, and I feel very blessed to do so. Like other people have to go to work, they clock in, like, oh God, how much hours? Man, I'll put in a 16-hour day and be just ear to ear.
And that's before he attends a sesh.
Yeah.
So goodness gracious.
Oh yeah, so there's one in particular thing that's happened in my life that made me realize this is what I'm going to do. And I don't know, I think I shared it with you, but it's a pretty intimate story because it's about a program. I even had to sign what are those waivers?
NDAs?
Yeah, NDA.
On the low.
I couldn't talk about any names. I couldn't say the name of the program. I couldn't take pictures of the kids, but it was basically a governmental program that gave educated kids that were adopted and going through the foster care system. Yeah. And this first studio I ever worked at, Ovation Studios out in Carthage, they hired me. Well, I didn't get paid. It was volunteer work. But I volunteered to do a program at the Bridge, is what it was called, which was like a skate park.
Ooh.
And they had this basketball court where I ended up teaching. There was, I think, about 50 or 60, and the program is basically just supposed to educate them on how it works for them.
Gotcha.
Because they're going through all different types of situations, and they're just, wanting to get adopted, wanting to get a home. And it's just like
strikes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a deep one. I remember when I was getting introduced to the crowd, it was kind of like a cafeteria vibe. And they're like, yeah, and this is KFlow. He's going to be teaching you guys how to dance. And this one kid's like, you don't dance.
Out the gate?
Out the gate. And I remember this just like it was yesterday. I was like, all right, bring it. And we did a dance battle in front of 50 to 60 foster kids.
In my head, I was really like, that's the wrong thing to tell Kev.
No, it was all lighthearted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was just,
don't get him started.
He wasn't being arrogant. He was just,
right.
He was being fun. So, but anyways.
That friendly test.
Yeah. But that was just the start of the event. Yeah. So what ended up happening is I got 10 kids at a time. And I did that all day, probably like 5-6 hours. And I taught each one of them probably like 45-minute to hour lessons with 10 kids. And there was like 5 girls, 5 boys. So they had it like pretty well distributed. But halfway through the day, there was this one boy, and he just had a dark cloud. I could see him walking in. It was just a storm only around this kid. You know what I mean? He
always
was just,
that one.
He was just kind of, I could tell he's just real sad. And I could see everyone else like, yeah, laughing with each other, playing tag, getting warmed up. We're all dancing. I'm kind of getting to know the kids because I just got this new group. They're probably like the 5th group that I got. And, man, I don't remember what this boy's name was, but I was like, you know what, kids, if you guys just get warmed up, stretched out, I'm going to go holler at, what's your names and see what's going on. And I'm walking over there, and I haven't even said anything yet. And the boy is sitting like this at the edge of the basketball court. And he just doesn't look like he wants to be bothered
whatsoever.
And basically he was like, you know what? dance never made no friends. Dance never made anybody happy or laugh or smile. And I was just like, okay, like tell us how you really feel.
Just popping off.
Yeah, he just, and I didn't even say nothing yet. I didn't even,
Yeah.
bring nothing up to him. And I was like, all right, okay. Well, if that's your logic, then technically, if I were to dance for you, it wouldn't make you laugh. It wouldn't make you smile. Is this correct? And he was
remember
like,
this story.
yeah. He was like, yeah, that's easy. You would never make me laugh. That's going to be easy. No one could do that. Da, 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 And I was like, all right, well, this isn't like a funny joke that you can just go back on your word for. Like, I need your word that if I make you laugh or if I make you smile, that you will participate in the class. And I'm like, pinky promise. And he's like, all right, bet. And he's just sitting there. And you know what? I didn't really think this far ahead. I was like, oh, shoot, how am I going to dance with no music?
So what am I really going to do?
Yeah. And I just start beatboxing. I start going. And this boy, the dark cloud just disappeared. He literally was like, ha ha ha, got up, walked to the class, and participated. And he was probably the most,
I was just going to say,
most into it.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know I had the power that I had until that very moment.
That was a reveal. The affirmation.
It was so real to me. I had such an effect on this kid, and he's going through it. He's in foster care, and who knows what his situation is that he's been through going at home. I know most of these kids were dealing with drug addict parents or drug dealer parents, and I only can imagine the abuse that they had. And the fact that I was able to, I just beatboxed a little bit and I danced and
pop the bubble.
I had such an epiphany. I sat there in the parking lot afterwards because when I left, all of the kids were like, KFlow, don't go. I was like, y'all gonna make me cry. Quit it right now.
You started it.
Yeah. And I went out in my car. I cried for about 20 to 30 minutes because of how special that just moment was. And that's when God sort of told me that, hey, you need to drop everything else that you're doing and figure out how to do this full time.
Because you just were revealed to one of your many gifts. Yeah,
and I didn't. It's kind of crazy that I've always liked to dance, but I always kind of did it for myself growing up, and then it wasn't until I was like 23 that I started to try to seek out getting jobs and doing things for dance that would actually be career-ish.
Right.
The studio paid $20 an hour. I made like $40 to $60 a week. It wasn't nothing, profound.
Yeah,
but the experience that it gave me opened up that first door. And I'm sure we've all kind of had that with our craft where we had that first.
And that can't be touched. Like that's just like.
It's kind of the fuel in my engine.
Yeah.
Like I could be dead tired, but there could be a kid that needs to be taught. And I'll be like, you know what? Doesn't matter how I feel.
Right.
This kid needs this. Because this dance it's more than, because I know that there's a lot of other things. There's kids get into sports and they get into, working out and physical fitness. But I feel like none of these crafts require the emotions that dance sort of provides.
Or like a common activity or outlet that kids are more than less used to.
Yeah, and even now, even today, I feel like it gets taught wrong. Because in my opinion, I feel like a lot of kids and their parents, they kind of tell them to go to the studio, and these kids learn all these different choreographies, and they learn how these teachers move. And I feel like for a beginner, that is all wrong. And we've taught a bunch of kids just at a park. And just my biggest thing that I'm kind of even dealing with today is the mirror and a studio location. People think the culture now is like, I can't learn dance unless I have a studio and there's a mirror and I can look at my teacher and I can look at myself and I can deal with all of the things that are going on in the classroom. That's already 3 different things we're thinking about, and we can't even dance.
Yeah, especially for an introduction of something brand new.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a lot to take on for your first go.
Yeah, and I can tell, being a professional, you need that.
Yeah.
But when you're just starting out,
I feel like you just need the 2 sources.
yeah, yourself and the instructor.
Boom.
Like,
yeah. And it's more personable that way, I feel.
Yeah.
And I know having the mirror, a studio, and the body of that is a method, but through Kev's and I's experience, it's not the only method.
Yeah.
And with what we specialize in, again, we've done it outdoors where we didn't have to pay for studio time. We'd go to a park, and being in nature, hands down, already is therapeutic on its own.
Yeah, it's like,
and it's exactly. You get the coating of the birds, fresh air, light winds, and I mean, children especially, being outside, it's just
takes the cap off.
It goes hand in hand. Yeah, it's like playtime for them. But not only that, the removal of a mirror and just being able to connect with them personally
and in their present thought.
Yeah. And they're looking at you while you're looking at them, so you play each other's mirror, but you're also supplementing them to find a way of their own personal expression without having to depend on what that looks like or what you look like.
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna imitate.
Yeah, because if you're judging it while you're doing it, it already has a different flavor, and flavor is everything in dance.
Yes.
And if I'm like, ooh, that doesn't look right, or
yeah,
it doesn't look right, because you are judging it while you are doing it. There's no way for it to be full out, and you're checking it out. Because my biggest thing that I see with choreo dancers, even professional ones, is they'll do a routine full out, but their head styling is still near. It's still just like they're all going off super hard, but their head is doing nothing. It's barely even able to smile and do the character of the dance.
Because the concentration of that is locked in on the mirror. And when you can just, erase that, this all gets implemented into your movement of explore, like.
How do you display what you're thinking and feeling without actually thinking and feeling it? It's such an easy unlock.
Yeah.
But all these choreography, I'm even going to be teaching a few choreography dancers this week because I want to get their thoughts on their experience of getting taught freestyle versus, learning choreography. And I know even freestyle is taught in sort of a choreo manner. And I want to unplug it from the studio and put it into a realm to where you really can get all the juices out of a freestyle class.
Yeah, in a boundless way. In a boundless way. Yeah,
and
I hear you.
Yeah, and I had a huge unlock with a student because I live out here in Santa Monica and I teach a bunch of folks in Malibu, Pacific Palisades, Beverly Hills, West Hollywood, and most of these people have a studio in their house with a mirror, right? And I taught this one gentleman, I taught him for like 3 months in front of the mirror, and we sort of stayed on lesson 1 the whole 3 months. Not because he couldn't go to lesson 2, it's because he was so like, no, we just need to work on this, and it doesn't look right in the mirror, and you look like this, and I'm here, so da-da-da. We stayed at the same level for 3 months, right? I was like, you know what? I know we do it at your house, but hey, look, actually come to my house. My house isn't very big. It's not that nice. It just has an open space and a wooden floor.
All you need.
I seen the hugest connection to the music, his own character, his personality, all the things we sort of worked on the whole 3 months. He got 3 months worth of lessons in 1 hour because he was taken away from the mirror. He was hitting the beats, and I mean, he wasn't a technical trained dancer. He just finally, for the first time, was able to tap into the flow state of mind
and be released.
And when I seen him, he was doing one of the things I teach is energy ball. He was like, boom, ka, ta-ting, ka-koom, ka. And I was like, oh, wait, whoa, what was that? Stop.
And that little thing, for him to address that and see it for himself was, I'm sure, quite, you know, it was quite an effect.
We were on like lesson 11, and we had like zero productivity because he needed it to be in front of a mirror at a studio, and he didn't want to be taught no other way. I, as a teacher, didn't see any progress, so I was like, hey, we've been doing this for 3 months. Let's try it this way. And he's like, you know what? I haven't really been feeling much progress. Yeah, I'm gonna trust you. And I was like,
right. Thank you.
That's all I can ask for. That's why you hired me.
Yeah.
So it's just such a huge part. And now that we have these sessions, it's just like we've been having it for like a year and a half. We don't have a mirror. And I've been seeing everyone level up with just boundless level ups. Each and every person that comes through, even somebody that comes 2 times, I see them better they're even better after the first time. And it's just like so gratifying to know the ways sort of the force, right? Of knowing how people need to learn and what tools to use and what things we need to nip in the butt. Because freestyle, if you want to get booked in LA, choreography is a big thing in the industry. But me personally, I have failed the choreography, but still made it through a lot of really high level auditions just because my freestyle was fire. And I wasn't trying to make my freestyle how I thought the judges would like it. I was just freestyling how I freestyle.
From the source.
And if you're not connected to your personality and yourself and how you think, and you're putting your life experience into the dance, then it's just going to be hard for a judge or somebody who is throwing an audition to see you. Because a lot of people in LA, you get booked on your look, and then you also get booked on your energy, not just, you know, how you can copy movement, but how you can make this movement yours.
Through your personality, your personal self. And that's I feel that.
Yeah, and I've just seen so much of my friends stress out so much because they can't connect to that, right? And I've just dealt and seen professionals at every level of the industry, you know, have trouble with who they are. And when you have trouble with knowing that who you are, then you're going to have resets. Your creative thought process with your dance is going to be, you're going to glitch out, and you're not going to be able to do what is natural and follow the instinctual methods of the way that you think. And I think that is the source of the Flowography program. And kind of what I want people to know that I provide is I provide a customized experience to each their own, because we read body language, and you cannot hide in the mirror. Even if I'm teaching in the mirror, I can't even really see you how I would see you, just like boom.
All eyes on you, yeah.
Without that, because the mirror somewhat lies to you in a sense, you know what I mean?
Like a mirage.
Yeah, and I was told a long time ago that you should dance to your shadow by my mentors rather than your mirror, because the shadow will never lie. The mirror is going to lie, but your shadow will never lie to you. So it's just like something I provide, and I want more people to know about my flowography business of I do mostly privates. I am kind of getting a following for group classes whenever the time calls for it. But for now, I specialize in private lessons. And a lot of times I bring Kapua along with me, and we provide a very unique, fun experience that I want the world to feel. And I think here in June, July, I'm actually be going out to Europe and spreading the brand.
Amen. Yeah. And if I could, I just would like to share a very vital tool of Kev and his business and brand of Flowography, which I think is just very special and unique, and especially now not only for him but for his clients, for his students. So when it comes to Kev and his lessons and Flowography, this man never shows up to his lessons with a premeditated layout of what he's going to do. He shows up, and this is not being unprepared. This is being prepared for the present. Because when he shows up, he feels out what his student is like that day. They're having any, minor injuries or feelings, physically, and he feels them out, because every day we feel different, we fluctuate. So he creates class raw on the spot based on what he's feeling with his student or his client in the present moment. And I've been able to witness it firsthand. It is incredible because the exercises, the class, what is being obtained and taught and shared between him and his students is happening organically. And the class comes to him, which then goes to them. And as a student, or for someone that I'm paying for, like, that's so moving. Like, it would move me if you're my teacher approaching it that way, because I'm getting a customized experience, but also a training that is only bred for me. And you're curating that on the spot. And that is where Kev thrives, and is just a gift of his, and makes Flowography that unique. And I witnessed it many times, and every time I gotta pick up my jaw because I'm like, dang. And again, studio, mirror, choreography, it's a method, but not the only method. And with the way Kev carries his personal classes, the student, they just get exposed to their own nature of feeling, and it's a direct connect. I feel it's just an opportunity of direct connect, and the student, they have to witness it because there is no mirror, so they have no choice but to feel and witness exactly what they're doing with who they're doing it with, and it's very powerful, and I think that's why Flowography is what it is, because of your approach.
I could have said it better myself. You gonna make me cry. Dang.
Really, man. Like, I've been blessed to witness it, and everyone's like, after class is done, their feeling and just emotion and where they're at, they are on the up because they feel it. Like, they're
connected to themselves,
and they've been exposed to an experience that you really don't come across too much, So.
And each lesson that I do teach, I always will be like, so what is your goals that you want to get out of today's lesson? Because I don't know how many times, because back in the day before I came up with this method, I would plan a lesson and try to over prepare, and then I realized that made me under prepared when I would just be so feeling this, because like he said, they can be feeling different today than they did yesterday. So they could have originally called me for ballroom, and then they might all of a sudden had an experience, and now they want to learn hip hop. And so I have to be there day to day to witness what they're feeling and what they want, because they literally can change their mind on a day-to-day basis, because people who hire me usually don't know what they want. So it's me, I have to ask the right questions to get to the root of what they want and why they want that.
Yes. And believe me or not, Kev has an abundant tool belt of like exercises, activities and utilizations for his students. Like he just doesn't go in there blank minded and just like, hey, let's try. No. It's literally like, oh yeah, I got something for that. Oh, hold on. Yep. Let me okay, grab that. You know, like he got his belt is well equipped over the years, and it's building. Like he gets new tools and weaponry, like
man,
constantly. That. Yeah,
wow.
And I witnessed it. I'm telling you guys, like you got to try it.
Yeah,
you got to. It's an experience. It's an experience.
I really appreciate. I really appreciate your opinion and putting people on game. And I just want to spread this dance all over the whole world. And I believe that I have the methods and the ways to really better somebody that not only will improve their dance, but will improve their day-to-day social life.
Mm-hmm. And I can double down on that. So if you need a witness, I was there.
All right, y'all. Well, that is it for today's episode. If you want to check in and follow Podflow, I'm going to be trying to figure out different ways and other places to put this. So if you can like, subscribe, comment, follow, I'm going to continue doing this because this just feels so good. And this is my man, Kapua.
Sorry.
KFlow.
Flowography.
Y'all have a good one.